Council meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, honorable city council members, Mayor McCray, to our city treasurer, Stacy Page, to our city attorney, our chief of staff, the administrative staff in the audience, and those of you that are here with us this evening, as well as those who are viewing tonight's meeting via our broadcast channel and YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. Today's date is Monday, October the 14th, 2024. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card located on the table in the back and hand it to me before that part of the agenda. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
And Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Chair and Council, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1 agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 7 treasurer's report, 8 public comment, 9 unfinished business, 10 new business, 11 warrant, 12 communication, and number 13 adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Number 2 minutes. 2A, for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, September 23rd, 2024, at 7:30 PM.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move that we approve the regular meeting minutes that were held on Monday, September 23rd.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on Monday, September the 23rd, at 7:30 PM. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Agenda item 2B, for approval are the minutes from the special meeting executive closed session meeting held on Monday, September 23rd, 2024, at 6:45 PM to discuss pending litigation.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move that we approve the minutes from the special meeting of the executive closed session that was held on Monday, September 23rd at 6:45.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from our special meeting, executive closed session, held on Monday, September the 23rd, at 6:45 PM to discuss pending litigation. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Number 3 is petitioner. Tonight, Mr. Chair and Council, we do have a petitioner on the agenda, Mr. James Belanca. He is from DNC Phase Food, DTW LLC. His petition tonight is for local approval for MLCC to issue 3 new Class C and SDM liquor licenses. Mr. Belanca?
Thank you. Good evening. Appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. My name is Jim Belanca, and I'm here on behalf of DNC Phase Foods, DTW LLC, which is an entity that is working in cooperation with the Wayne County Airport Authority to bring in 3 new restaurants to Metro Airport. And with me tonight is Lando Jardine, who is the manager of these locations. We are here requesting local city approval for the MLCC to issue 3 new liquor licenses at these locations in the McNamara terminal of the airport. And the type of license that we're seeking is a special license issued exclusively for use at the airports. These are not licenses that are transferable outside of the airport, nor are they licenses that go against a city's quota. The applicant entity is majority owned by a Delaware North company, which is an entity that specializes in managing these types of businesses at airports and stadiums and other locations across the United States. And it has been approved by the Wayne County Airport Authority to operate these locations. So we respectfully request city approval for these licenses, and we're here to answer any questions that the city may have.
Any comments or questions from council? Williams?
On page 17, it says examples of the on-premises license. So is it just different kind of wines, or is it liquor included?
It's technically a Class C license, so it's liquor, beer, and wine for on-premise consumption.
I'm not a drinker, so spirit is liquor?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Any other comments from council?
Yeah, through the chair,
Yes, Mr.
just a quick
Wilson.
question. What type of facility? You said restaurant, is that, what is it, a hamburger place, a grill? What
Yes,
do you got here?
it-
You got healthy foods, what do you got going on here?
If I may, I'd like the
Sure.
manager to answer those.
Absolutely.
questions.
Go ahead, Mr. Manager.
No worries. We are opening up 3 different locations. One where we're partnering with Wahlburgers and Seven Greens from local Detroit. And then we'll also be opening up a distillery and also partner with Born in Detroit and Great Lakes Roasting. All 3 locations will have a full menu and along with bar type products.
Okay, you said Wahlburgers, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Is that like Mark Wahlburger?
That's it.
Oh, he's coming back to,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
to the area, okay. All right, thank you.
Any other comments from council? None? Okay.
Wait, John.
Wait, go ahead.
So when do you expect to start with these 3 businesses, as far as opening?
My understanding is there's going to be different stages, but the first has been, looks like, the hope is that the first will be open at the end of January, followed by first week or 2 in February, and then the 3rd location is a little behind.
Okay,
We're looking at closer to May.
closer to May. So who's the first?
The first, Born in Detroit with Great Lakes Roasting, and the distillery, which will be named Keg and Craft.
Pardon?
Keg and Craft.
Oh, okay,
Cask and Craft, sorry.
Yeah.
thank you.
Mr. Wadsworth, your answer.
I would, if there are no more questions, then I'm gonna move, that we approve the DNC Fave Foods, DTW liquor license, and we're doing that, based on the reports that we got from our building, our fire department, our planning commission, our community development, and our police department. All had positive reports.
If I can, Mr. Chair, through
Yes.
the chair, council, there are 3 motions required,
then-
resolutions required for you to take action on. So the first, as listed in your packet, would be for DNC Phase Food DTW LLC, doing business as Cask and Craft Local Spirits, located at the McNamara Terminal, Concourse A, Space 8-3, application for a new Class C and SDM liquor license be considered for approval.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe on the first motion to concur with the recommendation of the city administrative departments and adopt this resolution recommending DNC Phase Foods DTE LLC, DBA Cast, etc. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you. The second resolution reads as follows, asking to concur with the recommendation of the city's administrative departments and adopt a resolution recommending DNC Phase Food, DTW LLC, doing business as Born in Detroit Kitchen, located at the McNamara Terminal, DTW Concourse B space W-A, their application for a new Class C SDM liquor license and be considered for the approval by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission pursuant to MCL 436.1501, PA 58 of 1998.
So move for that one.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and that was to concur with the recommendation of the city administrative departments and adopt a resolution as permitted by the clerk, read by the clerk. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the last resolution, and it, to concur with the recommendation of the city's administrative departments and adopt a resolution recommending DNC Phase Foods DTW LLC, doing business as Wahlburgers, located at McNamara Terminal, DTW Concourse A, space 81, their application for a new Class C and STM liquor license that be considered for approval by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission pursuant to MCL 436.1501, Public Act 58 of 1998.
And so moved on that one.
Support.
The motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to concur with the recommendation of the city administrative departments and adopt the resolution as read by the motion. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
The chair votes yes, that motion is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, council. Number 4 is a chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At 5:45, we had a closed session pending litigation from our attorney. At 6:15, we had a study session with our quarterly investment report, which was given by our treasurer, Stacy Page, which I think she's doing a tremendous job as our treasurer. Thank you, Stacy, for the work you do. At 7 p.m., we had a public hearing concerning the street light. And at this time, the chairperson is going to recognize Councilwoman Tally.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Need support on a resolution for the 19th Pastoral Appreciation for Pastor John Smith of the Resilient Nation Church.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Ms. Williams for a resolution. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved. That concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
I second that motion.
The motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally, for approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council, Madam Treasurer, and Clerk, audience here today, and also those tuning in at home. Before I get into my report today, I'd like to direct your attention to the monitor. We have a message from Vanessa Tolliver in the Mayor's office.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Tolliver, and here are some events happening in Romulus. There are a number of trunk-or-treats taking place around Romulus. We've compiled them onto this handy map that highlights the date, location, and the time of each event. These are the events that we have been made aware of to date. This is not a complete list of all events taking place. Have fun and stay safe. We want to see the residents and businesses in Romulus with the best outdoor Halloween decorations. Please direct messages, one clear photo, to our Facebook page or email at cbradley@romulusgov.com by October 25th at 2 p.m. Please include your full name, phone number, and address with your photo. Public voting on our Facebook and Instagram pages will begin shortly after submission deadline. The voting will end on October 31st at 10 a.m. The winner will be announced on our social media pages and contacted separately. Come roll with Romulus Recreation for the return of the Youth Bowling League. Registration is now open from grades K through 8 and will take place every other Saturday beginning December 7th at the Romulus Lanes. Visit our website to register or call 734-941-8665 for more information. Artesian Reserve would like to invite the community to their 6th annual brewery on Friday, October 25th. There will be games, food, and prizes for best costume, as well as a karaoke from 6 to 9 p.m. Thanks, everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website page for more information. And have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. Great job. I also want to thank everybody who took time to come out to the One Romulus meeting we had over the weekend at the VFW. I want to thank the VFW for letting us host there, and also our Treasurer, Stacy Page, for coming and being a moderator. Another good meeting. We got a lot of good feedback from our residents who attended. Already had some action items today put in place for them, so we're going to continue to do those and get good information from them. And also Councilman Abdo for coming out and attending and helping with the pancakes. We appreciate that. And then Councilman Wadsworth came and he ate pancakes. So. Thank you for everybody.
As many as I could.
Well, we'll keep flipping as long as people keep coming. So, I also want to, in case you haven't noticed, I want to thank Roberto Scaptici, our DPW director, for 2 projects he's got going on with infrastructure improvement. We know how important it is to do our roads right now and things we're working on. So 2 programs he's got going on right now on Wayne Road. One is the Wayne Road Sidewalk Program that's moving right along, and also the Wayne Road Mill and Recap that's long overdue from Wick Road all the way to Ecorse Road. So those are both underway, and I want to thank Roberto for getting those things going in our city. Moving on to the action items I have tonight. The first one I have is for an appointment to the DDA Board. I would like to request approval to appoint Billy Toner to the Downtown Development Authority with a term to expire July 31st, 2026.
Through the Chair,
Ms. Talley.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and approve the appointment of Bill Toner to the Downtown Development Authority with a term to expire on July 31st, 2026. And I do see he is in the audience. Thanks for coming.
Support.
Who supported it? The motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for concur with the administration, approve the appointment of Bill Toner to the Downtown Development Authority with a term to expire July 31st, 2026. And I think that'd be a great addition for Mr. Turner on this board. Welcome aboard. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. And also, Ms. Toner, I do appreciate you stepping up and being a part of that board. I don't think you need much of an introduction in this community, but you've been a long-time resident here, and now you're an entrepreneur in our downtown, and we're happy to see the progress you're making with Captain Nemo's and changing things around there and the new energy, and looking forward to the energy you're going to bring to the DDA. So thank you and welcome. Next item I have are amendments to Articles of Incorporation for DUA. I concur with the recommendation of Steve Hitchcock, City Attorney, and respectfully request Council adopt the attached amendments to the Articles of Incorporation for DUO, which have been approved by the dual board.
Through the chair,
Ms. Tally.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration, adopt the attached amendments to the Articles of Incorporation of DUA, which have been approved by the DUA board, and I actually have some questions too.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for amendments to the Articles of Incorporation of DUA. Discussion, Ms. Tally.
So, Mayor, who is the backup on this commission? I think you're the member, correct?
Roberto Scapitici is.
Who's the backup? Is there a backup person?
The mayor.
You the
Yeah,
front
on that
person?
one, I'm sorry, I
He the back
misunderstood you.
person? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Roberto's a primary on that, and I'm a backup in his absence.
Okay, I mean, when I'm looking through this, it says, the municipality should designate a member of its legislative body or other designee. I guess it would be, to me, I mean, and I'm just throwing it out there, just to kind of have a good balance with the administration person and the legislative person. Not trying to shake anything up. I don't know how long it's been in place with it, the way it has been, but I did notice that in the articles, and so I just wanted to throw that out there. And the other thing is, how often do they meet?
I'm sorry.
Monthly.
Roberto, can you come and update on the duo?
Yes, good evening. The board meets once a month. I am an officer on the board.
Okay.
I'm the secretary officer, so I meet up to 3 times a month with decision-making for the authority. And then I'm also a member of the technical committee. So there's kind of overlapping responsibilities, but between them all, we try to make sure that we're well represented with kind of the technical aspect and then the ongoing history of the authority.
Okay. And so I see that they're amending the fiscal year, correct?
Yes.
And it looks like it's in line with our fiscal year,
Yes.
probably along with some other cities as well.
Yeah.
What is the impact of that, them changing their fiscal year as far as internally? How does that?
It's not going to impact much, other than what's going to happen is the alignment of the rates would happen on the fiscal year as opposed to happening like off-cycle. So it's probably a little bit more to do with the financial group and their responsibilities than it is with what we'll be dealing with.
Okay.
Might be a little bit smoother, and a lot of the board members felt that it would streamline things if the calendar year matched, of DUA matched the fiscal year of municipalities, which is the July 1st.
So they pretty much was the outlier in comparison to the other
Yes.
municipalities?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Roberto.
Ms. Williams.
Yes, Roberto, I'm looking at page 115. It's saying weighted vote to be revised, but I'm looking at, under the municipalities, and I'm looking up on the Romulus, it says 14.121%. What's that about?
So there's a weighted vote, okay, in a quorum for the board members. We happen to be one of the larger communities along with Southgate and Taylor. I believe Taylor has like a 15% vote. We have like a 14%. I think Southgate might be 12%. When I cast a vote for direction of the authority or approvals, it's based on the number of points or the number of percentage that we hold. So that's why it's called a weighted vote. So if, let's say, there's a couple outlying communities that vote no on something, we can kind of carry the majority of the board.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Taylor. Taylor is 18.314%.
Yes.
Okay, I just I had never seen that before, so I was concerned.
But through the chair, to that point, how do they get to these weights?
It's based on a territory that discharges to the treatment plan. So there's
Okay.
some communities that don't discharge as much as we do, okay? And it's
Okay.
based on gravity and elevation and so on and so forth. Like Van Buren is on the board. Van Buren, I think, is a couple percent. They're in 3 systems, so only a little bit goes to the DUA system.
Gotcha.
So, it's based on that historical tributary area.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Does it have anything to do with the dollar amount or the amount that we pay for water?
Not water, no.
Not water, sewer?
Well, I guess in what, so some of our fees and our cost is associated to the volume of water that we use, but it has nothing to do with what we pay for water.
Nothing else?
No.
Okay,
It's just treatment of sewage.
just the treatment. So do we pay more for the treatment?
Well, we're a bigger customer. We don't pay any more than anybody else, you know, percentage-wise, but we're a bigger customer in the system.
Yeah, more work, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other discussion from council? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is piggyback for Omnia Partners contract for playground equipment for the Jimmy Raspberry Park. I concur with the recommendation of Colleen Dumas, Recreation Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council's authorization to piggyback on the Omnia Partners contract number 201-700-1134 for the purchase and installation of playground equipment from Game Time for Jimmy Raspberry Park at a total cost of $27,883.68. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified the funds for this purchase are currently available.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Roscoe?
I will make that motion to concur with the administration and consent to the piggyback on the Omni Partners contract number 201-700-1134 for the purchase and installation of the playground equipment from Game Time for the Jimmy Raspberry Park at the total cost of $27,883.68.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to piggyback on Omnia Partners contract for playground equipment and installation from Game Time Jimmy Raspberry Park. Discussion.
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to know, through the chair to the mayor, I know this is for Jimmy Raspberry Park. I know it's it doesn't seem like it's a lot of smaller kids that's utilizing that. I'm very concerned that Fernandez Park and then the top park that's next to Romulus Housing, they definitely need more attention. It's many more kids in that area that can actually utilize better equipment that's already there. So I would like to see us put some more money into those two parks.
And I wouldn't disagree with you there. And we put a significant effort into the Fernandez Park years ago in Mayor Birdcroft. We opened it and the kids have, you know, it's seen better days. I was over there last week. And so we're gonna work to revitalize that. But right now, we had Jimmy Raspberry Park that was closed, so we need to get that one open. Some new swings and smaller investment. I think the Fernandez Park's gonna take a larger investment on our
Yes.
on that one to get it. But I wouldn't disagree with you. It needs some help.
And also that top part, because I remember when they took everything out of there, it was fenced in, even though the fence was falling down. That area fence need to be put back up for the safety of the kids. Thank you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
Okay. Colleen, can I ask you a couple quick questions? So I know that a lot of that equipment over there in the park was in bad shape. Was there anything over there salvageable in that park?
Well, we were able to keep the basketball court, new benches over there, but we try to make sure we address every single part with the funds that we get from Wayne County.
Right.
Which is, we're grateful for, but if we
Still.
had more, we could do more, so yeah.
Right, so we got the slide, I see the mountain climber. Do we have swings over
We're
there?
putting new swings.
Putting
so I've
swings over there.
identified, like the top live.
Okay.
Fernandez, EJ's, Barnett, Scrimp, we're gonna be putting swings in those parks.
Gotcha. No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, and thank you, Colleen, and to DPW too for recognizing these needs in our parks. We want to revitalize them, so good work. The next item I have for action is a piggyback on the Sourcewell contract for the trailer-mounted generator from United Rentals for the DPW. I concur with the recommendation of Don Straub, Assistant DPW Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council's authorization to piggyback on the Sourcewell contract number 040924URI for the purchase of an MQ Power Whisper Watt 45 kVA trailer-mounted generator from United Rental at a total cost of $43,862. Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified these funds have been budgeted for and approved.
Mr.
And this is
Chair-
again for a mobile generator to help run our pump stations in the event of an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna move that on the piggyback of the Sourcewell contract for the trailer-mounted generator from United Rentals in the amount of $43,862, and I have a question.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Piggyback on the Sourcewell contract for trailer-mounted generator from United Rentals in the amount of $43,862. Discussion, Mr. Wadsworth.
Thank you. Mayor or maybe Roberto, is this obviously it's a portable generator that can be used around the city for different things? Or
It's a trailer generator. It'll be attached to a vehicle. They can take it out in the event of an emergency. We will be able to use it for a power source. I'd be hesitant to use it unless we have to use it for that, because we want it to be ready and prepped in case of an emergency, because it'll be used primarily to run our pump stations.
oh, okay, fine. Thank you.
Wait a minute, to the chair.
Yes.
So Roberto, so I know you said earlier, this is a mobile one, right? And it says in here that we had 2 other generators as well. Are those mobile as well?
One is, one isn't.
Oh, okay.
It's a bigger generator, but it requires the guys to have to lift it around,
Okay.
which is not ideal, but we can still run our pump stations off of it. But that's the main key, is that we run those pump stations.
Yeah.
Those are the sanitary sewer pump stations.
Right.
So during power outages, those communities that gravity feed to a pump, we need to keep those operational.
Right.
So we don't back up basements.
Okay, no, thank you.
Thank you. There's no other discussion. Roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is a disposal of obsolete, worn, and surplus property. I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and respectfully request City Council authorize the DPW to dispose of the listed vehicles and equipment through Martin's Towing with a disposal fee of $50 per vehicle, and all the other proceeds going to appropriate city funds per the table below. And all the vehicles in this batch are all listed below.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the DPW to dispose of the listed vehicles and equipment through Martin's Towing with a disposal fee of $50 per vehicle and all other proceeds going to the appropriate city funds.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally, for disposal of obsolete, worn, or surplus property policy. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, through the chair.
Yes.
Mayor, I'm looking at, I remember back, I'm not for sure how many years ago it was, but with these vehicles, instead of, auctioning these vehicles off, they used to have, well, they did have an auction over at the DPW that residents, so why we're not doing that? Because I'm sure, I'm looking at some of these vehicles, I'm sure some residents here would be glad to get, one of them.
Yeah, we did do it years ago, but the amount of the expense of the city put that auction on, and if the people didn't show up, we didn't have a good result. This has been a much more efficient way and a much better way to bring in money for this equipment. The Martin's Towing has a lot more exposure than we had. So we started looking at those in the past, because without having certain items at that auction, we didn't draw a good crowd, and it cost us too much in man hours to have those auctions go on, too much of our resources. So it was much more efficient, and we realized more of a savings if we did it this way.
Well, maybe the next time, we can look into maybe, offering it, because I'm looking at some of these vehicles and the mileage is not, like out of the question for the amount. So maybe we can look at that in the near future too.
If that's something council would like to explore, but I would, if you could schedule a few minutes with DPW and go look at the vehicles because once a time they're on this auction list, they're bad. Don't let the miles deceive you. A Ford Taurus or Explorer with 100,000 miles that are police miles are hard miles. So anything that's going out of those doors anymore is pretty much used up. So if you think that might be a viable option or a way we want to look at, I'd definitely say, I'd recommend to schedule an appointment at DPW and go look at those vehicles first.
Well, I'm even looking at some of the, like this one-ton truck, some residents may have a business, and so you're looking at like 48,000, and you're asking,
And they can still go bid on it.
yeah, they can?
Yeah, they can go, yeah.
Well, we should definitely
open.
put that on the website that people could know that. Thank you.
Definitely.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mayor.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. Mr. Chair and Council, I have one action item under my report, and this is for second reading and final adoption to amendments to Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62-357 through Section 62-399 of the Romulus Code of Ordinances. This ordinance amendment was first introduced at the September 23rd council meeting. And this is for second reading and final adoption.
Through the chair,
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make that motion for council to approve the second reading and final adoption to amendments to Chapter 62, Water and Sewer System, Article 4, Combined Systems, Sections 62 through 357 through 62 through 399 of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinances, which was introduced at the September 23rd council meeting.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Tally, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for second reading and final adoption of amendments to Chapter 62, Articles 4, Section 62-357 through Section 62-399 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
Yes, I would just like to say, and thank you, Mayor, for clearing that one up that council requested. But through this document, I'm seeing where, and I was trying to find it, but in several areas of this document, it says approval instead of approve, council approve. Hold on just a minute.
Bad grammar.
That, the wording is not correct, to my opinion.
So you're saying in areas where they should have said approves, it says approval, or
It
vice
says
versa?
approval, but it should say, by council approval. It say by council approval.
Looks good enough to me.
I'll point it out. We don't have to hold it.
Okay, we can definitely comb through it if it's
Okay.
just a spelling or a grammatical issue.
It's 62-3.59. It say council shall approve all rules. Council shall approve. So it's up under section 62-3.
Yep, I found it.
Okay, and it's throughout this entire document, so if that could be corrected. Thank you.
There's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes the clerk's report. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Good evening and thank you. I have a few items under my report this evening. Summer tax collection was September 30th, so we are past that. However, we are currently working with the assessor's office, the treasurer's office, to prepare for our winter tax bills, and you should expect that on December 1st. The next thing I wanted to cover was the Veterans Memorial. I know there's been a lot of discussion about that, and we had a meeting on October 9th, which was this past Wednesday. Anyone is invited to come out to that and ask questions and hear about the updates. Our office has been working really hard with the mayor's office, the community, city council to make sure that Veterans Memorial is, that we rebuild it and we make you proud. The integrity and the character of it. As you know, it's out here outside of the municipal complex. There were about 504 existing bricks. We are replacing all those bricks with new bricks, so everyone that has an existing brick will get a new brick, and those original bricks are going back to the family members. With that being said, there's also 224 additional spots for our veterans that initially did not have any more placement on the wall, and so now our veterans will have the opportunity to have their name on the wall, and that is a blessing. I know what that means to our families and friends, and so we're glad to be able to do that. We had a great meeting, a lot of information, and we will have a couple more meetings because we want to keep you informed. So it is the second Wednesday for the month of November and December, and it will be at the VFW. But as always, please contact the Treasurer's Office if you have any questions on that. Again, there's 504 existing bricks, and we do have those, and they are all organized and labeled. We would like to get those back to the families. So we are asking you, if you have any family or friends that have a brick out there, or did have a brick out there at the monument, please contact our office because we would like to get that back to those families. And to verify that the information is correct on the brick, so that way when we have the new ones engraved, we know that that information is correct. And with that being said, thank you all for all your hard work and working together, and looking forward to this project being completed early next spring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Number 8 is public comment, and this is a portion of the agenda for those in the audience who would like to address City Council. The rules to address City Council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address the City Council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card would be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair and Council, we do have 2 written requests to speak. The first request is Bonda Cooley, and she's asking for more than 3 minutes, but that would be at your discretion, Mr. Chair. Ms. Cooley?
Good evening, everyone. I'm here with my daughter, Tara. I'm here with the concern, not only for my daughter, but for other city residents. It's not the first time that we've had an issue with our water, so I'm here with that issue. Is there a payment plan or anything that the city around us has for their water? Does anyone know?
They do have one established. I don't have all the details of that in front of me, but they do have one established.
Because when I had the situation a couple weeks ago, there's no plan. It's, if your water is shut off, you're not given the opportunity to say, I'm here to pay the past due amount, or whatever I need to do to put me under that threshold of $300. It's pay your total amount. There's no concession to saying, hey, I have other bills that I have to pay. I just gotta pay the $700 or whatever my bill is now to have my water turned back on, because now you're in shut-off mode. There's no payment plan that can be made to you or offered to you once you're in shut-off mode. Because if I'm not in shut-off mode, I wouldn't really need a payment plan, correct? I mean, it's only logical.
Well,
So
let me correct my response to this. So there's a payment plan, but it might not go as deep into a payment plan that you're talking of. So there's a way to make a payment, or there's certain amounts or thresholds, is what I was speaking of. But I don't know if it's gonna be a payment plan that breaks it down into certain amounts to get you back to where you flush.
Not necessarily breaking it down, just giving you the opportunity to say, if I'm in shut-off mode or I'm already shut off, and I come in to pay my bill to get me under that threshold at $300, they won't accept that They want the total amount, not the money that's gonna put you under that threshold. So there's no payment plan there. So-
And that sounds correct. I would just correct, my
Right.
statement.
So the issue that came about with my daughter is, she was notified that there was an issue with her account. And we were like, okay, so they told her to come in and fix it, or handle the situation. So she came in to ask what was the problem. It was said, well, there was an issue with your account. And we're like, okay. She was like, okay, so what's the problem? Well, there was a number missing, or you entered the wrong information. So she said, okay, I can correct that. Maybe I did. But however, the payment had been processed. It wasn't an issue with the payment. It was a error in either her implementing her number wrong, or when iCloud put the information in, it was wrong. How the city was then able to contact her is where we were confused. If there was an issue with account numbers, you were able to contact her. The bank was also verified, and when she placed the payment, it went through its process and processed through her account, not declined. She came in to handle that, to pay. Okay, well, let me straighten it out. So here I can go ahead and redo it since there was an issue with my account number, or the what does it say? Invalid account. So if that was the issue, then she should have been able to come in and say, here's another payment that I've already paid, and let me just correct the issue. Because it must have been my fault. That was not given to her. It was, no, you have to pay this amount right here, right now, your water's turned off. There's no concession to anything. We don't make any exception. So I thought that was kind of harsh on a citizen. Not just my daughter, any citizen. I'm standing here for myself. I'm standing here to say that when I went in and I came in with her and asked,
You can go ahead.
and asked if there was a policy or payment plan, there was nothing offered. We were clearly pushed away, and I was upset. I came to your office to speak to you, to say, is this how we treat our citizens? And I thought that was unfair. Not just because, like I said, it's my daughter, but this could be anyone. I've had conversations with other residents in the city. So then I did my due diligence, and I contacted the city of Detroit. I contacted Westland. I contacted Taylor. I contacted Wayne and Canton. And I said, what is your policy? They all have payment policies where if you have need, they help you. Okay, well, here, you can break this down. You can pay whatever it is and get you under that threshold. We'll turn your water back on, no problem. That was not given to me or her here in Romulus. Aside from that, with the Detroit policy, they have two policies that they offer their citizens. They have the Lifeline plan. They also have the Easy Pay plan. All these things is $10. If your water is turned off in the city of Detroit, they pay $10. They turn your water on. They give you 36 months, and your water is on. We pay so much money here in taxes in Romulus. And then the liquid gold is the water. The court owes us money. The other business over here owes us money. But our citizens are being held accountable for stuff and not even given an opportunity to say, hey, well, I had this incident happen to me. Let me fix it. That was not offered. And it was like, well, the council didn't vote on that. They didn't know anything about it. This is what we did in the water department. I said, so you don't have to go to council for anything? No, we make our decisions in the water department. I said, are you kidding me? Seriously? So the council didn't know anything about this? So off of that, let me run to this one right quick. So I manage my uncle's business for him. He's elderly, he's a vet. And I pay the bills since my mom passed away, so he's living in my parents' home. I received text messages for his water bill. And I click on those, and it said $0. I'm like, okay, so it's saying that I owe a bill, but there's nothing here for me to pay. I get another text message, says the same thing, $0, balance referred to your next bill. Like, okay, so maybe I have a credit. Keep going. Same thing. This is all of September. Come 2 days ago, I get another email, a text message. It says my water bill is $786.64. I'm like, so I go back and I'm looking at these text messages that I received. Once I click on them to go to iCloud, it says zero due. Zero due, zero due. I can show them. They're in my phone. I'll show them to you because I tried to print them, but it didn't print that part. So saying that, I'm like, all of this is being outsourced. I come in to talk to someone about it, and we're pushed away. We're pushed away. No one is saying, oh, wait, let's work this out. Let me see what I can do to help you here. That was not offered. So how many of our citizens have gone through that haven't had the nerve or the mindset to come and speak to council and have you all look at that? I think that we should have some type of plan for our citizens. Water, we need water to survive. You don't know what a person is going through in their homes, why they need their water. You know, and to turn it off so quickly, you post a raggedy orange sticker on your door and destroy your property, but you won't come and say, hey, let me just send a letter out to say, you know, your bill is a little late or whatever. You don't do, oh, well, we emailed you. Well, what if I had to sacrifice my internet to get food? So I don't get that. Where's the common courtesy? Where's the customer service? We're not getting it, and I'm just disappointed with the city. I've been here my entire life. I've been a child in this room, and I'm disappointed that council is sitting here not realizing that you have citizens out here who are going through this. You know, not all of them have enough gall or you know, the will to say, hey, I want to come and speak. A lot of them don't even say anything, but I get phone calls. You know, and I refer people. You know, I've done it. I reached out to you. I've reached out to people. You know, and I'm sitting here like, this is awful. And we can go other places and they offer these things. I mean, Detroit will wipe out a bill, no matter what it is. We're wiping it out. You're starting over. Look up those payment plans that they have, that they're offering their citizens. We're not offering our citizens anything. And I'm just disappointed in that.
John?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
Obviously, Mrs. Cool has made some very good points here, Mayor, and we're going to have to look into that. I mean, we just can't say okay and let her walk out the door. We're going to have to work something out, because
And I don't
she made some
disagree.
good points, some excellent points.
That, and then the fact that I was told to contact the RAP program. Well, if your income is above $1,500, you don't qualify for that. To add to the fact that once you're in shut-off, it takes them 10 days to process your application, which takes another 30 days from the process of payment, which takes them another 32 more days for you to get that $25. And what is $25 on an $800 bill? And half of our residents truthfully do not qualify because they work at the plant or they work at Amazon. Now we got Kroger's. Then you say go to DHS, your stuff has to be shut off or DHS to pay your bill. And even with that, there is no guarantee that they're gonna pay it before it's cut off.
Through the chair. And I remember going through this before. I think this was even when Eva was alive. This was when Eva was alive, and we was going through the same process. And I know as a council, we have said we were going to decide, we're going to talk about this. We were talking about the thresholds as far as the limits and things like that. But it sounds like we need to do a deeper dive than these thresholds that we had initially talked about. But yeah, it needs to be some deeper conversations. Water should be a right. And we hear that all the time with our legislators, and we just need to go deeper in this. We just need to go deeper. So I feel you, because I was there when Eva was alive and we had went through this before. So yeah, we need to have more discussions about this.
I appreciate that.
William?
It's deeper than that, Mayor, because I got contacted by these two young ladies, and I came up with them because I couldn't believe the treatment that they had received the day before. So this was the second day, and the chief of staff and you were not, on the property. Customer service, I didn't see that, not at all. As an employee, you don't stand there and argue back and forth with a customer. You walk away. Let somebody else handle it. And what Gary said to me is that he's the boss. I just heard earlier in something we was doing that he's over purchasing. So he's a director over purchasing and he's the director over finance. Because,
He's the assistant finance director.
well, no, he said he was the director. This is what he said to us. And Maria said, I can't do anything, I gotta go along with what he's saying because he's the director. The treatment, I stood there and watched it, and I was disheartened. The treatment that they received, and it was other folks in the hallway waiting for other services, you know, with the Treasury Department. It didn't make sense. And I don't think we need to just look at it, because I hear this all the time in other communities. Romulus is not really offering a whole lot. I mean, I'm not being negative, I'm just saying. And we definitely, the council here, the legislative body need to come up with some type of rules to help those, because finance is hard for a lot. Even if you're working in a plant, it's people that work in a plant, it's people that work and make 50,000. But with their bills, they still struggling. So it has nothing to do with where you work. But Romulus need to have something in place that will benefit the folks. I mean, we spending millions of dollars every time we meet. I'm just saying, seriously, we as a council, the legislative body, we need to create some type of rules. And definitely, Mayor, I want you to have a conversation with Gary, because that was not good at all, to argue back and forth with the residents in their situation. And I looked at her documents, and her bank statement said pending. When something says pending, that means something is coming through. So that money is put on hold, and you know, it's not yours until that payment come through. He refused. And I'm telling you, it was so embarrassed because it went on about 15, 20 minutes.
He also said that it could have been a bad check, and people write them all the time. And I said, so are you insinuating that we wrote a bad check? And he said, oh yeah, well, you know, people write them all the time. And I said, but it's not a bad check issue, it's written right here. It says account, invalid account. This ain't anything about a bad check. You know, and I said, and we're not writing a bad check. I'm like, I will pay cash right now for this. It's not about a check. She can do it, you can write a credit. However, just let her pay that amount that she'd already paid to correct the error. That was a human error. It wasn't no funds, it wasn't any of that. It was just a simple error either on her part or iCloud. We don't really know, but it's just funny that the money was taken from her account or was pending in her account. They were automatically was able to contact her and then turn her water off, but it was an error in the account. There was a number missing. How did you put those two together, but then not give the customer opportunity to come in and correct it or repay the amount?
And then charge me shut-off fees, reconnection fees, all these excessive fees.
And sign
then I had to sign a contract to pay a complete bill by the 1st.
We'll do it for you this time.
Right, it was a privilege for you to turn my water on, to say that I wrote a bad check or I didn't have the money, when it's clear it was a human error. Everybody makes it out on Amazon. You order something on there, your stuff don't go through. They send you an email saying you need to redo this payment. Instead, you turn my water off and then tell me I can't pay you what you're actually holding on to. Because for you to charge me an insignificant fund fee, a reconnection fee, my bank should charge me first because the money wasn't there.
So I just would like for council, mayor's office, you all to just look at a plan for the residents. Water being turned off and not given opportunity to make a payment, or have your water turned back on for what was past due or whatever to get you at that threshold. We need water, we have to have it, it's like air, we need it to survive. You know, and if you're gonna turn it off, it's just not fair. You don't know what a person is doing inside their home, what they need that water for, and we all need it. So that's what I wanted to bring to council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Through the chair, and I'm hearing everything there, and I made some notes, and there's a lot to discuss here, and I don't have an answer for you right now, but it's clear that we need to come up with some kind of a process that's gonna be a little bit better at operations. We pride ourselves on customer service and taking care of our residents, and it's clear that something happened here that's showing that we need to adjust how we do things. So, give me a few minutes to come up with something, and I'll bring some discussion before council. We'll take a look at what other communities are doing, and make sure we're giving our residents a chance to get above board. We do have to run a city, and we have bills to pay too, and we're charged commodities, but if we could find a way to make it more amenable to get our residents who are in a tough spot caught up, we'll try to do that.
Through the chair, please.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
I was not there, but just hearing the story, it appears as though, and I don't really know Gary, and I'm not here to turn him into a criminal, but if we have a director or assistant director of one of our departments who are supposedly engaged in customer service and should be treating the residents accordingly, I can detect that there was some hostility there. I'm not sure if Gary had a bad day or if he bad cup of coffee or whatever the case may be, but if you are addressing residents in the fashion that he addressed these residents, I think that's something that we need to take upon ourselves. I mean, obviously you're the mayor. Again, I wasn't there, but just by hearing this story.
Gary's a direct report to my office, and
Yes,
he's a director,
yes,
and he's been with the
yes.
city for a lot of years.
Yep,
And,
yep.
and I'm not gonna
I understand. You
take
gotta
sides over right
investigate
now,
and
because I
find out what's
haven't
going
heard
on.
his side of the story, but I can just say that it sounds like we could do better, and that's what I'll make sure we do in the future.
And no disrespect to Gary, but if you have a council member standing there with a resident, that's total disregard for her position as an elected official of the city. It'd be just like you standing there, and you're elected, you're the mayor. I mean, a council member is elected as well. I mean, for Virginia to receive that type of disrespect, in addition to the residents being there as well, to me, that's unacceptable. I mean, you're getting paid good money, taxpayers are paying your salary, for you to treat them like that and then cut the water off, and then the fees to reconnect. I don't see how that's appropriate, but I know you're gonna investigate, Mayor Creight, and,
We'll look at it, and I'll get both sides of the story and find out what's happening, and we'll adjust course and make
Absolutely.
sure that something like this doesn't happen again.
yes, I appreciate that. Maybe my man Gary needs a little sensitivity training or something, if it proves to be that he was very insensitive. I mean, there's ways to handle that without, dislodging him from his position. Maybe he needs some training. I mean, it's just a suggestion, I'm not sure, but something's gotta change.
William?
Yes, and I would like to, as part of the legislative body, even as the mayor is working in his capacity, that the council maybe come up with some ideas too, and then we can all, put it together and see what we can do for the residents instead of, it just appears to me a lot of times we as the legislative body put the weight on the mayor and then everything is blamed on the mayor. We have just as much a responsibility as the mayor, and so we have to actually do our part.
Who's blaming the mayor? What are you talking about?
No.
I'm not blaming the mayor, I just made a comment.
No, Mr. Wilson, what I'm
Okay.
saying is the mayor said he was gonna look into it, correct?
Okay, yep.
So what I was saying is that by us being a legislative body, we should also have ideas or suggestions to give to the mayor of what we think should, come forth or be put in place.
Yep.
Instead of us just waiting for the mayor to tell us, we need to use, our authority to give him some ideas of what we think
Yep.
should be put in place.
Sure.
So I wasn't saying we're blaming the
Okay.
mayor or you was blaming the mayor. I was just being clear to say we should do
Right,
it
right.
collectively and not just
That's-
the mayor tell us what he want for the residents. We hear the complaints just as much as the mayor do.
Yep.
So, but thank you, I wasn't.
Sure, and there's a process, right? Resolutions,
Yeah.
motions. I
Yes,
mean, there's a process
yes.
to get issues taken care of in our city. And I mean, it's a structure, so.
Yes.
Fussing about it ain't gonna do any good, right? You gotta have resolutions, gotta have motions, gotta have
Yes.
votes and all that type of stuff, so.
Through the chair, just
Yes, Mayor.
Just one last thing, even the language that was approved tonight shows that council will approve the regulations for this department. We operate the department, so I'm gonna put a plan together, bring it to council, and if you guys are happy with that language, we'll implement. But you guys will dictate the policy around the department, we'll control the operations, and that's in accordance with what was approved tonight, so. So we'll bring some things together for you to make sure we don't have this situation again, and we'll work to find a resolution.
And through the chair, just quickly again, do we have like a session, a training session, or do we have like for our city employees, do they like go through, because I'm out of the auto industry, out of labor, and I know labor relations trains the plant, they train the hourly and the salary employees to make sure that everybody understands anti-discrimination laws, anti-harassment, just the general courtesy on how you treat people. So do we have any type of format here within our city that, especially when you get to be a director? I mean, you get to be a director because you're supposed to know what the heck you're doing. And you also what comes along with that is how you treat residents and making insinuations about checks being bad. And I mean, I just think that was a very bad situation, and it gives us a black eye as a city. And I'm not proud of that. But thank you for listening.
Well, Mayor, I can speak for myself. I'm going to do a little research and maybe jot down some things, and I'll send to your office to kind of come up with some things that I think will be fair to all of us. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Chair and Council, we have another written request from Olivia Ross.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, and treasurer. Like other residents, I received a flyer last week from Attorney Counts, who's running for the 34th District Judge. He purposely put out charges that were made against Teresa Patton, who is also running for this position as a judge at Romulus 34th District Court. And let me start by giving facts. Attorney Count stated the initial charge against Teresa Patton, but failed to include the outcome of the charges. Mrs. Patton was charged 15 years ago at Westland Courts, but the case was dismissed and no further charges were brought. Fact, Ms. Patton was a victim of domestic violence and called the police herself on her ex-husband for domestic violence. Still, because her ex-husband made his complaint first, the police officer arrested her. Counts knew the charges against Teresa Patton had been dismissed, but decided to share this partial information to place a negative opinion against Teresa Patton, hoping that he would win the election in November. Counts' attorney is an attorney who to this day gets assigned cases from Teresa Patton's office with the high volume of domestic violence cases in our courts today. Count should be ashamed of himself for using the situation of a woman being abused to win a seat as a judge. But because of his desperate desire to win, he felt the need to play dirty politics. This is not a representative we need on the bench at Romulus Court. Someone who would stoop so low to get a position. What kind of order would he bring to Romulus 34th District Court? If you would like proof of what I'm saying, please ask Ms. Patton. The proof is public record at the Westland Courts. Don't just believe Counts, okay? We want an honest judge with integrity and truthfulness, and Counts is not the judge for Romulus 34th District Court. I asked Ms. Patton, and you should too. I stand for truth. I proudly voted for Teresa Patton, and I urge all women, especially those who have experienced or know someone who has been a victim of domestic violence, to cast their vote for Teresa Patton. My name is Olivia Ross, and I stand by this statement, and I am a citizen of Romulus. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
I got a lot of calls about that, Mayor, and it's nothing that we can do, but dirty politics, we see it every day, constantly, almost every commercial is back and forth. But when you're a man and supposed to be standing for fairness and justice, and you choose to win by attacking a woman, that's low. That's low. I think, and you know, they do it. I mean, everybody does it. I mean, a lot of people do it, I'll say. But when I got the calling in, I received it. It's terrible to make a victim of domestic violence a victim again because you want to win. That's sad. It's sad, and I had to say something behind Ms. Ross getting up here because it's cruel. You know, and that's why so many people don't even want to be bothered with politics anymore, because it's not clean, it's not fair. It's like, I just want to win, it's sad. So I hope people look through that, not believe it, but search. Why would a person take that much money and send that piece of literature out saying Miss Patton versus, Coos, to get people to go negative against her. That's just sad. And that's just my opinion. I put it in the garbage because that's where it belongs. Thank you.
Mr. Chair and Council, I have another written request from the audience. Ms. Carol Miller.
Good evening, City Council. I am a resident of Romulus. I have addressed your board before. I have several issues. Again, with this Wayne County drain ditch that is on the side of my house. We have Kathy, the supervisor for the Wayne County drains, that I've contacted several times about maintaining that ditch. We have the city sewer that is out on Niagara, that's from the apartments. That drain is not maintained by the city. And furthermore, I was running bath water about a week ago, and something black was coming out of my pipes. Great Lakes Water Authority has been in our area for about 2 years, testing waters. I made a post previously on my Facebook page. Several months later, about a year ago on September 9th, I went to the Michigan Department of Health up there on Van Born, did the mobile testing for lead poisoning. It has been found that lead pipes are running through our systems. There is a school friend of mine who lives in the city of Wayne, not 2 miles from me. They're digging up his entire street, replacing those pipes. I initially thought, because I'm a smoker, ash had dropped in my water when I was running this bath water. I'm watching Dancing with the Stars, go back in, the water seeps out, I turn the hot water on, there's another black speck. I get my flashlight to my phone. As I'm shining down in the tub, there's black particles, tiny black particles in my water. I called to get my test results, which they said it would range from 2 weeks to a year. September 9th of last month, I reached that 1-year mark. I got a call from DHS, the state of Michigan. I've talked to like 3 or 4 different people. One person today from the state of Michigan, and they're telling me that I need to call somebody and have them come out and test my water, and I need to pay for it. With the dump site within 2 miles, bringing all this toxic waste, I have some skin issues that's going on, and my daughter has skin issues too. I need somebody to find out what is going on with our water. I need that ditch on the side of my house to be maintained. When they put in the new streets, they came through on Niagara and they did the streets, the city had to come out and clean that embankment, because when they were digging the ground up, it stayed flooded. Kathy at Wayne County Drains told the city of Romulus that they didn't have anybody to come out, or they couldn't do it at that time. Since then, that brush has overgrown, is overpowering my gate. They told me that the embankment does not belong to me, to them, and that's my problem. I need somebody, I need some answers, and I need some help. I need my water tested. We have lead in our waters.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Before you leave tonight, make sure that Chief of Staff has your name and number, contact information, and we have it already. We'll have somebody from DPW reach out to you. As far as the county drain, not to put you on the spot, but you talked to our future county commissioner right there.
That's fine.
So,
I was out there last month,
He took pictures.
and-
those have to be addressed even in front of Amazon. They're not maintained.
Sure, absolutely. So, through the chair, please.
Yeah.
Scapitici, does this belong to the city? I know part of it belongs to Wayne County. I think you engaged with a goodwill gesture, and you're supposed to clean it up, or you cleaned it up or something. Can you give us an enunciation on what's going on over there?
Nobody never came out.
Let him say something, Ms.
Yeah, I don't know her address, but I know that my foreman went out
Okay.
When we were doing the construction of Niagara Street in Newcastle, we did a little bit of ditch work, and it was in the county right of way.
Okay.
But then it got to the point where we were over our head, you know, no pun intended, and it's like, we had to go back to the county because it was a bigger project that needed to happen.
Okay.
And I don't know the results of that. I know we put in some calls and my assistant was handling that. Well, we can get back into that and see where the county's at. But
Oh, well, I can find out where the county's at. I can find that out tomorrow with Mr. Hayes. I'll be meeting with him, so I can find out tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I'll get involved. Sister, let me, before I leave, I'd like to talk to you, please. Thank you. And thank you, Mayor McCray. Absolutely right. This is ridiculous.
And we will do a follow-up, Roberto, with that on the water to check that, see where we're at. 'Cause I know we are working on a lead service line replacement program in the community, so we'll make sure we're addressing these.
Thank you, Roberto.
Mr. Chair and Council, that was the last written request from the audience.
Are there any other comments from the audience? If there are no other comments from the audience, Madam Clerk, we'll close that part out.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is unfinished business, and we do have an action item under that agenda item. We have this is a resolution to establish a special assessment district to reconstruct Grant Road and Cypress Road. On Monday, September 9th, 2024, council postponed action on establishing a special assessment district for reconstruction of Brant Street and Cypress Street between Beverly Road and Ecorse Road to receive the administration's response to some property owners' request to add adjacent parcels to the district. The city assessor has provided her report. For the reconstruction of Brant Street and Cypress Street, the recommended payment type is asphalt with a total cost estimate of $2,170,000. The proposed special assessment district comprised of, there are 26 parcels listed here, which is in your packet. And we have Chapter 50, Section 50-4 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance states the following the public hearing under Section 50-3, the City Council shall determine whether to proceed with the construction or acquisition of the public improvement and shall, if it determines to proceed therewith, determine whether to construct or acquire such improvement through the appropriate city department or through one or more independent contractors or through a combination thereof. The city council shall also establish a proposed budget for the construction or acquisition. It is requested that council adopt a resolution to create a special assessment district containing the above listed parcels for the purpose of reconstructing Brant Road and Cypress Road between Beverly Road and Ecorse Road, and to let for bids for the construction of such improvement. And we do have a request from the audience to speak on this agenda item. We have James Quarles.
Good evening, I appreciate you letting me have this time to talk to you. I did speak last time we met on this subject. There are two agenda items that I had. One is that there were two properties that we did feel should be included in the special assessment district. One, parcel 99031. Although they do have employee parking off of Beverly, the only access that they have for their shipping and receiving department, which is all their heavy trucks, is to come down Cypress. And it feels that they're getting a benefit out of using the road. They should be able to be included in the special assessment district. Also, parcel 090300, They do have access to Cypress through their back gate. I don't know how often they use it, but they do get a benefit off of having a second access, whether it be next time they lease the property or they sell the property. It definitely is a monetary benefit to being able to have a second egress on their property. And I would like to have both these parcels added to the special assessment district.
Any discussion, council?
It's already added, right?
I have a comment,
Go
John.
go ahead,
So my
Ms.
question
Roscoe?
to the assessor's office, these 26 parcels are including those two parcels, am I correct?
Yes, yes, the
Okay.
information received tonight does include those two parcels.
Okay, I thought so. Thank you for the clarification.
I seen this number. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
If there's no one else that would like to speak, then the action that's required, again, from council is to adopt a resolution to create a special assessment district containing those 26 parcels as listed for the purpose of the reconstruction of Brant and Cypress Roads between Beverly and Ecorse Roads, and to let for bids for the construction of such improvement. So that's the action that's required this evening.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion for the resolution to establish a special assessment district, SAD, to reconstruct Brant Road and Cypress Road, to include the 26 parcels that are listed on what is noted here as our page 199, and to let bid for the future construction of that
Support.
road.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams, for a resolution to establish a special assessment district, SAD, to reconstruct Brant Road and Cypress Road. Discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, City Council. That will take us to new business, number 10.
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Through the chair, to the mayor, I spoke to our DPW director. I'm really glad that he worked, Roberto worked really hard to get the sidewalks and overlay of the blacktop on Wayne Road. It was due. But as I said to our DPW director, Roberto, some areas, and we have to notice this and start looking into what are we gonna do about it, because to me, it's a great safety issue. If a car pull off in some of those areas, from Ecorse to I would say to Wayne Van Born, but all of them are not bad. But some of them, it's maybe 3 feet from the road. So if a car cuts off and have to pull over, they're gonna be on top of the sidewalk. So we need to, and I spoke to Roberto, he can share with you, we need to start looking into now, if that's what they're doing, it's almost done, but we need to look at it, it's a serious safety issue. Those, in some areas, the sidewalk is just way too close to the road. And you got tractor trailers coming down Wayne Road, you got all kind of vehicles, and sometimes they speed. It's just not safe. And we can't, I'm glad we're getting them, but at the same time, we're responsible to make sure that the residents that use them is gonna be safe. And Mayor, you can go down there and see it. They dug it out. When I seen it, I immediately contacted Roberto. We have to do something, whether it's a guardrail, whether it's Taylor used a fence to put in between the road and that area where the sidewalk is. And if all a car have to do is get out of control and So that's an issue I wanted to bring up and make it be known, because we have to. I'm sure they'll be finished real soon, because they working pretty quick. But we're gonna have to do something beyond them just putting the sidewalks in and resurfacing the road. We gotta do something about that safety issue.
I agree with you. Public safety is paramount. That's why we're putting the sidewalk in to get people out of the road, not the shoulder. I did look into it a little bit more today, and we'll watch when it's a finished product too, to see if something additional has to be installed. But I was assured today that we're 8 feet off the side of the road would be the closest point, and also it meets all the MDOT and county standards, and our engineers are working on it. But we'll let the finished product go in, and we'll see if there's an area that we feel that could be particularly precarious to somebody. We could definitely look at making sure they're safe.
Yeah, we have to, as a city, MDOT, I'm sure NDOT, have their rules, county have their rules, but we have to make sure, some areas, I'm telling you, it gotta be no more than 2 to 3 feet from the road. Not all of them, but some of them, and so those areas are really, we have to really do something before we, it's said and done, and it's okay. I mean, MDOT, look at the freeways, they do them, and then, months later, they redoing them again. So, I mean, how much do they really care about the safety of the people? So, I respect their position, but at the same time, we have a duty to make sure that when we're installing things of that sort, that it's the safety of the people is first. Thank you.
So if I could just add something to that, through the chair, please.
Yes.
I had an opportunity to talk to you, Roberto, last week about this situation. Our ordinance addresses this, doesn't it? Our city ordinance, is it 1 to 3 feet from the road versus from the sidewalk to the front of property of the resident? Is there some type of, because I understand we had 100 easements, now we got about 20.
Yeah, in some of our ordinances in building codes, the sidewalk is to be placed 1 foot inside of the right-of-way line.
Okay.
And what we're seeing out there, and I agree with you, Councilwoman Williams, it's not the best alignment, but it was the only viable alignment.
So you had to compromise.
That would allow this project to happen. And I know it's a little deceiving right now that it looks like it's 2 to 3 feet. I assure you it's not. It is 8 feet from the edge of the sidewalk to the edge of the road. They are digging and putting in a drain pipe, and that's the excavation that is making it seem as though it's really close. But either way, it is close. But when we started this project, we needed because it's Wayne County right-of-way, they only have so much statutory right-of-way and so much legal right-of-way. So when we went to the residents and we started asking them, and we started the conversation of where the sidewalk was gonna go, no one wanted the sidewalk
Be too close to their home.
right in front of their house.
Okay, yeah.
I even heard things like you're allowing someone like direct access to my front door. So I understood that. Some of the other parcels were starting to put up a little bit of controversy over how much they wanted. If we had to go after over 100 easements, it would have probably, this project we probably wouldn't be talking about a sidewalk. It wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
So I understand, Councilwoman Williams, what you're saying. I respect that. As the mayor mentioned, when this is finished, we'll see if there's an area that is suspect to not be within the confines of safe mobility, we'll see what we can do. I can tell you that permanent structures, the residents are not gonna want fencing in front of their frontage. If it's empty lots, we can see if Wayne County will allow us to put some sort of barrier. There is gonna be some barriers with the drain crossings, but it's just, I understand your concern. If, the details behind it through design, there was a lot of conversation.
Okay. So, again, I keep hearing Wayne County for some reason tonight, quite often. So if you could, if you could, the emails that talks about the construction that's going on, and all that information, so I can have that, because I meet with Al Hayes, regularly, like every week, so I want to make sure that these issues get placed on the top of his list, because he's leaving on the 31st, and then of course, I'll be coming in on January 2nd, but I want to make sure that I'm following up on some of these very, very hot issues out here in our communities, and making sure we try and get them resolved.
And absolutely, and I wanna, on behalf of Wayne County, they allowed us to put it within their right-of-way, which they typically, they're not pro sidewalks to begin with. They don't, they're road jurisdiction, not sidewalk.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Wow, semantics.
Yeah. And Roberto, like I said, I met with you, I met with Don, your assistant, and I appreciate what you're doing from Van Born to Smith Road. I really do. But at the same time, I like to be proactive than reactive. Wait until it's done and then say, oh my goodness, it's terrible. I wasn't looking at or even thinking that the sidewalks would be toward or the fence or railing would be toward the resident home, more toward the edge of the road to keep a vehicle, the protection from a vehicle sliding off the road and maybe hitting someone on that sidewalk. That was my concern. So, we're doing really good with a lot of upkeeps with the roads and different things in the city. Vining, I told you, Vining looks wonderful. But at the same time, I want to make sure, you say 8, something Don showed me in the ordinance over at the building department where it said it only had to be a foot to 3 foot. Maybe that need to be updated, because how old is that?
Yeah. 1 to 3 feet, I think it says.
Yeah, that maybe need to be updated, and then maybe in the future, we wouldn't have to deal with this kind of issue.
yeah, I totally understand. The only point I wanna make is that we own, there's not enough room. See, Wayne County does not own enough room
Right.
on each side of the road. That's the problem. It's not, it's an unfortunate side effect, but we don't have enough public room.
Right.
So it's really the property owner is what you're saying? It's really the property owner? The property owner,
Yes.
as far as their
Yes.
easements are concerned?
Yes.
So that's what the big issue is. So you're
Yes.
trying to find a happy medium, sounds like.
Right, yes.
Wow.
And I understand, like I said, I understand, I was speaking to Don, I understand that, see, Wayne Road used to be 4 lanes. And Wayne County didn't wanna, back in the day, didn't wanna keep the upkeep of the 4 lanes. So they actually handed over the property to those residents. And I was speaking with some of them that most of those residents from Woodside Square, almost to Everline Street, are new. They haven't been there forever. So, and I understand they don't want sidewalks right at their front door, I understand that, but I wanted to bring it to the mayor and let the residents that actually walk up and down Wayne Road know that we do care about the safety of them, and that's why I brought it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto. We'll be talking, I'm sure.
Is there any more new business from city council? Then that takes us to number 11. Warrant for approval is warrant number 24-19.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 24-19 in the following amounts. General fund, $47,484.96. Major street fund, $17,442.25. Local street fund, $32,215.10. Public safety fund, $9,725.50. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $5,800. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $108,048.77. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $115,593.93. Downtown Development Authority, $5,653.57. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $6,190. 911 Service Fund, $474.91. Library Fund, $7,418.36. Vining Road Extension E-Course Construction, $1,116.50. Water and Sewer Fund, $573,691.17. Motor Vehicle, $4,250.40. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $134,586.68. Revolving Fund, $4,920. Current tax, $43,046.13. Impressed Payroll Fund, $316,597.05. Totaling all funds, $1,434,255.28.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 24-19 for $1,434,255.28. Any discussion?
Yes.
Discussion, Ms. Reed.
Yes, through the chair. Mayor, CSX, is that the railroad? And is that, which one is or is this just what we pay the $12,418? We pay that every year we pay it every year? So because I noticed they're working on the one at Goddard and, right before the bank.
They're rebuilding 3 of them right now. They
Yeah.
did Grant Road, that's completed. They're working on Goddard right now, it's still shut down, and they'll be on the tow line next. But yeah, that's the annual signal maintenance fee.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 12 is communication.
Through the chair, just real quick, I just want to shout out to Shona Sylvie Baum. She held the annual Relay for Life couple of weeks ago, I can't remember when. It was just recently. The level as it was when she first started it is just, it's not where it was when she first started it. And I just want to commend her for her diligence and perseverance in keeping it alive. And I have just, I'm just want to support her in that every year, as long as she decides to continue to do that. And I thank her for her perseverance in bringing this event to Romulus. It would be nice if she can get it growing back up to level. It was very scaled down, but it was very nice and it was very intimate. It was intimate, it was done all under the pavilion, but it was very nice. It was very fellowshipy. We was fellowshipping, and it was just a really good time. So I just want to shout out to Shona for all the hard work you do with Relay for Life. It's not an easy thing to do, especially to stay encouraged and stay persistent in something when you feel like you may not always have all the support. So hats off to the work you do with the Relay for Life every year. It's a very important cause. Never had the experience with too much in my family with cancer, but I had a couple of things going this year in my family, so I am very much more appreciative of the cause. So Shona and Abby, thank you for all that you guys do with the Relay for Life. Kristen, all the people who are a part of it, and staying persistent and persevering in this, even when it doesn't look like you have all the support that you want or need. Thank you.
Mr. Wadsworth?
If I can, just to follow up on Ms. Talley here. October is Breast Cancer Month, and most of us in this room have been touched by cancer, and so think about the people that are fighting it, and remember the ones that fought it and didn't win, but always, keep up your hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes, John, I've really been listening to residents, and Mayor, you're aware of it, you've been here just as long as me, as a young man. When I first came to the city, the slogan was Gateway to the World. And it made sense, because we got the trains, we got the airplanes, and we have the freeway. So I would like to see, because I did some research and I didn't see where council actually changed the slogan of the city. So I would like to make a motion that we go back to Gateway to the World since we're beginning to build. It just makes more sense.
Need a second?
Yeah, I support that.
Okay, it's
And
been
then
motioned.
I support.
Okay.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Mr. Wilson, to go back to Gateway
Me
to
either.
the World.
Yeah.
Ms. Williams,
Yes?
Mr. Wilson.
You want discussion?
Okay, discussion. I thought we
I think
had.
the mayor wants to say.
Okay.
Oh, you want to discuss me? I'm sorry.
Okay, so,
That's fine, it's a council issue, but
Do
I
you
didn't
want
really.
to- Who wanted to discuss?
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we talking about? I'm not sure.
Okay.
The
So-
slogan for the city, when we became a city, was Gateway to the World. That was the slogan. And it was since changed to City of Opportunity. I think Gateway to the World befits us more with, like I said, with the freeway, the airport, and then the railroads.
So my part of the discussion is why or how did it change? Is there, I know there's a record, and I'm understanding that you and Burkhoff arbitrarily changed the name to Home of Opportunity, from what I understand, so is there?
If I can, I don't
Sure.
think it's an official slogan that was ever adopted by an act of council. I think there's been different marketing attempts. Gateway to the World made sense because the airport's here and you leave. When I go to Michigan and I'm talking to Lansing on behalf of this community, I flip it around and I say, we're the gateway to Michigan. And it's got us some results. I mean, we're the first impression you see when you land here.
Right.
Yeah.
We had frank conversation with the governor on this one, saying, hey, the first impression of Michigan is Romulus. And we got some infrastructure work done because of that. So I think there's been different slogans throughout the years in branding and marketing techniques.
But Mayor, when I drive into the city and I see Romulus, I see Home of Opportunity
Yeah.
on a lot of the signs coming into our city. It doesn't say Gateway to the World like it did previously. So
Right.
I don't know what happened, how it
Yeah.
got changed, but I think
Changed.
through legislative action, that's the only way it can be changed, not through an arbitrary action of a mayor, to my understanding. So I don't know what happened, but I think it makes sense. I mean, if it was done erroneously or inappropriately.
The Home of Opportunity was a slogan that was brought in by the Mayor Burkhoff team, and what's that? Through the visioning process, that's right. That way it came through the visioning process and was approved through the residents of the visioning process. They wanted to see something like that. They were tired of the same old, same old. So again, if council wants to take action on something, but those are all just marketing tools, and the Home of Opportunity was something new, it was something different, and we are a home of opportunity. Look what's growing here.
And you also Gateway to the World, right? So.
Gateway to Michigan, so we're checking all the boxes. And we're
Gateway to
also,
Michigan, right,
we're also One Romulus too, so there's several different slogans out there, so.
So through the chair, I want to be clear, so I don't know what we are. So, I just want to, let's figure it out before I take a vote on it. I need to know what we are and then go from there, because I can't vote on that when I don't know what we are.
Right, I understand.
I don't know what we are.
So right now, the slogan is City of Opportunity. Are you clear on that
Home of
one?
Opportunity.
City of Opportunity, Home of Opportunity. What I was saying, even from residents, that they like the slogan Gateway to the World. And so that's what the motion was.
John,
Mr. Wadsworth.
I'd like to have a meeting about this before we vote on it. You know, to just bring something up, Virginia, and catch us off guard here, I'd like to think about it.
It's not catching you off guard, Ms. Wadsworth.
Well, I
You've been
wasn't
up here
thinking about
since,
changing the name of
moon
it.
turned, orange, and so
I'd
you
like to
should
have
know.
a
You knew when they
meeting.
changed it, you didn't say anything. All I'm saying is, I'm speaking on the behalf of what people are saying, why did we change it? Nobody knew that the actual council changed it, so I'm saying since the council didn't change it, so, that vote on the floor.
And I think you're saying, Mayor, you're saying that marketing slogan doesn't make you any difference. I think Home of Opportunity, Gateway to Michigan, I mean,
I guess I didn't know it was an official act of council before. And like I said, when we did the visioning process under Mayor Burkhoff, it was determined that the Gateway to the World just seemed kind of outdated. And it means everybody's leaving, shows everybody's leaving here, going everywhere else. So we wanted to show that we're the home of opportunity, and that came through the visioning process, and we marketed that way. And again, when I got in office, we started looking at this, and I said, you know what, I see it different. I think we're the gateway to Michigan. 36 million people travel through them, get through that airport. That's more than Frankenmuth, Mackinac, Disney World. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but it's all marketing, strategy.
John,
Mr. Wadsworth?
just one more comment. I personally like Gateway to the World, but I'd like to sit down and have a meeting about this first, before we change anything.
What we gonna meet about?
Yeah.
I mean,
To
what we
discuss
meeting about?
changing the slogan of the city.
It changed without your vote, so, I mean, we gotta vote on this, John. I don't understand.
Any other discussion? We're gonna do a vote. Roll call vote. It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Mr. Wilson. Ms. Williams?
Yes?
Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sure.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
I'm going to vote no without a study session.
Ms. Talley?
No, same.
Mr. Wadsworth?
No.
No, John.
Chair votes yes. See, we got 1 and 2, motion passed. The reason I vote yes is because we have projects coming here, big projects coming here, and Gateway to the World.
It makes sense.
I had a lot of people that came up to me and said, why change? I said, well, we're gonna look into it and see if we can get it back to Gateway to the World. That way, when I first moved here, that's the sign I seen. So, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's even better. Gateway to the World, we got the biggest one of the fine airport, so that's why I voted that way.
Makes sense.
Is there any more communication? Okay, then that takes us to number 13, adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
You better believe it.
Williams,
Yes?
Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.